Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Wolfner.
It's Marc-Andreas Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the
GameToLab Podcast.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Novak Djokovic comes in, he steals the title, he wins the 23rd Grand Slam. He's the first guy in history to win 23 Grand Slams.
Alcaraz is going to win Roland Garros this year. He wants to be the greatest player. He wants to emulate some of the big goats of the game. I think Iga's going to win Roland Garros and win it back to back. It doesn't happen often.
Iga Swiatek, who is going to be picking up her third, and in the men's, Daniel Medvedev.
RUUD winning Roland Garros. Ostapenko is going to get her second Roland Garros title.
Carlos Alcaraz is going to win the men's side. Iga Swiatek is going to win on the women's.
Daniil Medvedev and Jessica Pegula will bring home the trophy this year.
Novak Djokovic clinching his 23rd. And then on the women's side, we're going for Ostapenko.
On the women's side, been on fire, has won titles on every surface. Her name is Elena Rybakina. And on the men's, Carlos Alcaraz will win his first French Open.
Novak Djokovic is the 2023 Roland Garros champion.
Welcome back, tennis fans. It is the match that we've all been waiting for, the semi-final that everybody's been talking about lately. One might say the most anticipated match of the year, or maybe even of all time. I'm, of course, talking about Alexander Zverev against Casper Ruud in the semi-final of the French Open Roland Garros. Stick with me, and together we will find out who will face Novak Djokovic in the final of this year's French Open. Tell me in the chat, who do you think is going to take this? We see that the head-to-head is 3-1, a bit misleading though, as firstly, one of them is a walkover for Zverev, so 3-1 in favor of Zverev. One of them is a walkover, however, and the other three are all hard courts. Today they play on clay, and we know that that is Casper Ruud's favorite surface. Very difficult to call this one, I would say, because firstly, Ruud made the final last year, and Zverev did so well last year just before his injury against Nadal, so we don't really know what to expect. I mean, Zverev, in which form is he? We don't really know, because, yeah, he made the semifinal, that's great, but maybe his draw was a little bit lucky in the sense that he faced Echeverry in the quarterfinals, Dimitrov in the fourth round, so it will be difficult to see who's going to take this one. Tell me in the chat, what is your prediction first? And we see that Ruud was able to hold his serve, and Sasha Zverev will now be serving his first game of this match. Hi, Sneal. Nice to have you in the chat once again. Most anticipated match of all time. If not of all time, at least of this current decade. I think few people will argue with that one. I know all of you were watching maybe the Djokovic and Alcaraz match, and you were thinking like, come on, just finish. We want to see Zverev versus Ruud. But then finally they were done, and now we are here to witness history. Alexander Zverev against Casper Ruud. It's currently 15 all. Zverev will be serving. Personally, I think Casper Ruud is going to take this. I've placed some money on him. I just think that I've watched Zverev play this far this tournament, and I'm not too impressed, to be really honest. He faced Grigor Dimitrov, who we know can self-destruct. Echeverry didn't really impress me in the quarterfinals. Zverev didn't play badly, but I'm just thinking that Casper Ruud is going to be much more solid and clutch than the other players in the draw. That being said, if you are a Djokovic fan, who would you rather be facing in the final, Casper Ruud or Zverev? Because funnily, although I think that Ruud is the favorite for this match, I do think that Zverev will have a better chance against Djokovic in the final. Tell me whether you agree. It's just the matchup. I think Zverev has just that X factor maybe that is able to beat Djokovic, which I think Ruud might lack, as we see Ruud hitting that in the net. Phyllis saying that the German will win, and we've got Sneal also saying that Zverev will be winning this in 5 sets. Let's see what will happen. Danuke agreeing, I'm assuming you mean by that maybe Zverev has a better chance against Djokovic, and maybe you also agree that Ruud has a better chance today. It's one of those odd things in tennis, right? Matchups is an interesting thing in tennis. I mean, we all saw that with a rivalry between Nadal and Federer, where unfortunately the matchup for Federer was just not really in his favor in terms of the single backhand against topspin forehand. Let's see, as Zverev is serving at 30-15. If you've already joined us, do consider hitting the like button on this video. Let's see whether we can maybe get to at least 1,000 likes for this historical match we have on our hands here today, as Zverev is now serving at 30-all. So RUUD already having a sniff here at maybe a breakpoint opportunity if he can clinch this point. Schneil saying, I definitely prefer RUUD as a Novak fan because last year Zverev showed which level he can reach, most definitely. I wonder what is the head-to-head between Djokovic and RUUD. I didn't actually check beforehand, but somehow I doubt that RUUD has ever beaten Djokovic. Am I incorrect? Or maybe not, although, and we know that Zverev has beaten Djokovic in the past on clay as well. That one final, was it Rome or Madrid? I can't remember, where Zverev won his first Masters, I think, in that tournament. As RUUD hits a big forehand to the forehand of Zverev, who hits that ball. I couldn't see whether that was long or wide, but either way, it was out. And that means that we have a break point already on the first service game of Zverev. Can RUUD take a lead in this match and make it 2-0? Let's see, Zverev serving at 30-40 and his break point opportunity here for Casper RUUD. Zverev serves. He serves against the forehand of RUUD. He's standing very far behind the baseline, but now stepping in as he goes with the backhand to the backhand of Zverev as they exchange backhands cross-court. Zverev now with the forehand to the forehand of RUUD. Zverev now stepping in with the forehand cross-court again. Cross-court forehand by RUUD, and it's just in. And now RUUD with the forehand down the line. Is that in? Yes, it's a winner! It's a winner by Casper RUUD. That's beautiful change of direction there. And he does take the break. And it's a game and a break to Casper RUUD. Wonderful play there by the Norwegian.
On the cloud, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
Well, we saw Casper RUUD steamrolling in the beginning against Holger Rune. Maybe he can do exactly the same here today. I think a lot of people were surprised against Holger Rune how he was able to just steamroll through the first and second set. Maybe we are up for something very similar here today. And then you start to wonder, well, if he gets to the final this easily, maybe we can have an interesting final up our hands. Danuke saying that Novak has lost against RUUD. Okay, thank you for that clarification. I did not know that. Hey, Casey, nice to see you in the chat as well. Schneil saying, I still think you're missing the fact that Zverev has the extreme fire due to the Nadal. Sorry, let me just try to read there. You're still missing the fact that Zverev has the extra fire due to the Nadal mid-match retirement when he was playing so well. Yeah, I wonder that probably is also playing a big role in how he got this far, because he feels like there's a missed opportunity last year, which he feels like maybe he deserved it. I mean, we never know what could have happened, but nevertheless, he would feel that he should at least have had a chance in order to compete with the remainder of that match. And maybe that is some extra motivation for him throughout this tournament, especially if he makes the final. It is strange. I'm not sure what the odds were before this tournament started, but I'm thinking that this is probably the lowest that Zverev odds has been in a Grand Slam for, I would assume, many years. So it will be interesting to see if he makes the final, maybe even win this tournament in a Grand Slam that maybe less people expected that of him. But it will be, I mean, it's a typical fairy tale story, right? From a neutral perspective, like you have that massive injury and then you can't compete. And then the next year you come back, you are healthy and then you take the title. I mean, that is a pretty cool story, unless obviously you are a Novak fan or maybe a Casper RUUD fan today, as RUUD hits that ball wide and it's 15-40, and that means that it's 2 break-back opportunities now for Alexander Zverev. Danuke saying now, not sure whether he lost to, whether RUUD has beaten Djokovic before. We can check that on Google now. Let's just check quickly whether RUUD can maybe save these 2 break points that are now up, serving at 15-40. He serves a fault. That will be second serve. Let's see, RUUD serving. to the backhand of ZVEREV. RUUD now cross-court backhand to the backhand of ZVEREV, who also goes cross-court. Oh, it's beautiful backhand down the line by RUUD, but ZVEREV gets there. RUUD now stepping in with a massive forehand cross-court, but ZVEREV also getting there, but he overcooks that ball a little bit, and it's one break point saved there by RUUD. Neil pointing out that RUUD didn't really steamroll RUUD. It was just a lot of errors, and RUUD admitted it himself. Yeah, well, you can only control, I guess, what you do on your racket, but I guess that is also the case that maybe it wasn't really a steamroll then in that case from a scoreline perspective, but maybe not from a technical or a tactical perspective, as RUUD is now serving at 30-40. Second serve, that's a fault. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV, who hits it cross-court. RUUD now with the backhand to the forehand of ZVEREV, who just hits it back. Don't take any risks at the moment. There's ZVEREV with the big forehand to the forehand of RUUD, who goes cross-court. ZVEREV now with the forehand to the forehand of RUUD, who goes down the line. ZVEREV now slices, and now RUUD is at the net. Will he put that ball away? But ZVEREV passing shot. The passing shot of ZVEREV is in the net, and RUUD is able to save another break point, and we are on deuce. Beautiful play there by RUUD. So from what I'm seeing thus far, it seems like RUUD is more willing to change direction with his forehand and really go for the angles. It seems like his cross-court forehand, you really take that angle, and also with the forehand down the line. While ZVEREV, it seems like currently, he's just planning on maybe hitting the ball back and checking whether RUUD might get some unforced errors on his racket. Serving at deuce. Now he's with a forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with the forehand again to the forehand of ZVEREV, goes cross-court. RUUD now with the slice. It's sort of a drop shot, but not really. Now RUUD with a backhand down the line. ZVEREV with his forehand to the forehand of RUUD. And now they're just exchanging in the middle of the court. Who's going to change direction first? ZVEREV now goes to the sliced backhand of RUUD, and it's just in. It's nice and deep. Now RUUD with the backhand. He tries to go for a winner down the line, but it's just wide, and that means it's point to ZVEREV, and he has another break point opportunity here. Can he capitalize on this third break point opportunity? We'll have to wait and see. And that last rally was 16 shots. RUUD serving, trying to save another break point. He's serving to the backhand of ZVEREV, but that serve is out, and it will be a second serve. RUUD serving to the backhand of ZVEREV, who steps in. It's a nice and deep return. RUUD now with a nice forehand, though, there to the back of the court. ZVEREV is able to get there, but ZVEREV hits that ball out. Once again, not a lot of pace there by RUUD, but the direction that he gets on his forehand is really, really nice, thereby making ZVEREV run as he hits that angles quite nicely. It will be interesting to see whether he maybe also incorporates some drop shots throughout this match, as it was quite effective by Echeverry doing that against ZVEREV in the previous match. I personally felt that he should have utilized it more, because it was almost worked every time. So, I mean, it made sense to do it then more. It will be interesting to see whether whether RUUD tries maybe the same against ZVEREV, but it will also be interesting to see whether ZVEREV stands as far back on the baseline as he did against Echeverry. Currently, it doesn't look like that way. It seems like he is standing closer to the baseline against RUUD than what he did against Echeverry. As ZVEREV now has another break point opportunity in this game, and as Neil points out, this game could be important in the context of this set, because if RUUD wins this one, it's 3-love, but if ZVEREV gets this one, then we're back on serve. It makes a massive difference. Let's see, RUUD serving, advantage ZVEREV. Oh, that's a great serve, but ZVEREV gets there though. But the return is just long by ZVEREV. It's a great serve there by Casper RUUD, and it is deuce. Tell me what you think of the Djokovic-Alcaraz match. I think we're all still a bit tired after that one. It was such a roller coaster. I mean, it started with the highest quality that we've seen in a long time, and it's so unfortunate with the injury later coming on, spoiling what could have been one of those all-time great matches. As RUUD is now serving, it's a great serve once again there to the forehand of ZVEREV. It's unreturned, and it's advantage to Casper RUUD. Yeah, and that one shot by Alcaraz, I think that's probably the shot of the tournament. It must be the shot of the tournament that he played there, running back and then like scooping it with his forehand just over the net. That was just insane. It's very similar to a shot that Federer hit. I think it was against Nalbandian. I think so. It's like 2006 or something like that, where he also like ran around and then scooted with his forehand. But I think this one by Alcaraz was even better, as it was more difficult to execute as it went like over the high part of the net cross-court, whilst Ferrer's one was like just in a straight line. But both are good. But I mean, that Alcaraz shot, that's surely one for the highlights packages of YouTube and those special, that those compilations where they show the shots of all the years. I think that one we'll see for many more years to come, as we are back on deuce in this match. Dr. Storytell saying it was a bit anticlimactic, as the match was so exciting in the beginning, and then unfortunately the injury probably playing a role in that one. Chanel saying, I'm on shot of the tournament, at least should be shot of the year. Yeah, probably. I'm thinking it's probably shot of the year, but I'm skeptical to say that, because there's always, like in these challenges or these small tournaments, there's always this insane shot that you can't believe. So I'm not sure whether there is maybe a similar one to that I haven't seen yet, or could see in the future of this year, as the year is still young. But definitely from what I've seen in this year, it's definitely, I would say, the shot of the year thus far. No, that was just insane. And especially also, I guess, taking into consideration the context, it's against Djokovic, it's a Grand Slam. That's just insane. ZVEREV has another break point opportunity here. Let's see. RUUD serving, it's in the net. And I do feel that in terms of this, the set, as Neil pointed out, is crucial for ZVEREV to take the break here. RUUD serving now to the backhand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with the forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV again, who goes cross-court. RUUD now with a slice. And ZVEREV now with his backhand. Another slice by RUUD to the backhand of ZVEREV. Will he go for another slice? No, he goes for the topspin forehand. RUUD there. Now RUUD with the backhand topspin, but he overcooks it. RUUD overcooks his backhand, and you know what that means. It is a break. It is a break back for Alexander ZVEREV, and we are back on serve in this match. Very, very difficult to predict. Probably crucial there for ZVEREV to capitalize on one of those breakpoint opportunities, and he does, and he's back in the set. It's interesting to note, it seems like the physio is out on court and he's going to treat the leg of Alexander ZVEREV. So let's just keep an eye on that. And it will also be interesting to see whether Casper RUUD maybe incorporates this in his tactics. Will he maybe test that leg out, go for a few more drop shots? He hasn't gone for a drop shot this match yet, which is surprising. He's gone for a few slices, didn't really do much, but maybe a drop shot should be in the arsenal, especially now to check out that leg of ZVEREV. Andres asking, do you think Mukova can end a fairy tale tomorrow on a high? That's Jared Leto is there in the crowd. Jared Leto is there. Interesting. 30 Seconds to Mars lead singer. They recently released a song called Stuck, which I think is quite good, actually. Quite a good song. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Yeah, Mukova. Shame, man. I mean, how insane was it to get back from 5-2 down? I mean, that's just ridiculous. But against Swiatek, I don't think she has any chance, to be honest. I mean, you always want to say never, but I remember also in the previous stream with Ben, somebody asked, do you think that Mukova will have a shot? And I was thinking the only possible way that she can come close to a shot is if she takes a Jägermeister. That's the closest she can get. Otherwise, I don't think she stands a chance, to be honest. I think 3 games max, maybe. And it's not to be mean to her. It's just like Swiatek is just on a different level. And I think Mukova's probably going to be a bit overwhelmed in the final, as you could expect. But also Swiatek, I think she's just too good. Chanel saying, Haman, everyone talked about how Alcaraz had no weakness. I think we saw today Alcaraz's weakness is maybe physicality. That's an interesting point. Yeah, he was playing with so much physicality in the beginning of the match, like every point. So someone also asked me, like, in the middle of the second set, like, who do you think is playing better currently? And my comment was that it seems like Alcaraz is currently needing to be playing out of his mind just to keep up to track with the score. I mean, he has all these hot shots and he gets to all these balls and like, how on earth did he get there? But then the scoreline is tied. And I'm like, well, okay, if you need all that effort just to stay with Novak, then I can't. Surely that's not sustainable for a whole match. Oh, that's a beautiful passing shot there by Casper RUUD with his backhand down the line, and that means that it's love 40, and it's another break opportunity here for Casper RUUD. Wow, just breaks all around. Have a break, have a Kit Kat. Is Kit Kat sponsoring this tennis tournament? It seems like that. Gary, nice to have you in the chat. Not sure I'll be here throughout, but hopefully I can check in. About the earlier match, the old man is still a beast when it comes to physical stamina. Yeah, there's no comparison. I mean, it will be interesting to see, like, if we had one Grand Slam where each match is like 10 sets. That will be quite interesting, eh? Who do you think would be the best there if it's the best out of 10? I'm thinking that Novak will probably be the best in such a situation. And then you think of other guys that are maybe fit, like, Fuchsovic and John Millman and players like that. But yeah, he's definitely, in terms of physicality. And I mean, physicality, I guess, is more than just pure fitness, right? It's also the ability to stay in a match somehow when it gets long and focus. That's also one of the things. And also to play smart, like not over fatigue, if that is a word, I'm not sure, yourself too early on in a match. Save your energy, play smart, and read the opponent. How do they feel currently in the match? And I think he did that perfectly today. Shanil saying, Gary, I think I just saw today when Novak is the fittest man on earth today. Yeah, I think definitely probably the fittest tennis player. I mean, will he win in a marathon, in a solid, just pure marathon, other players? I think probably not. But in terms of fitness on a tennis court, I think he's by far the best. And I do think there's a difference. Tell me whether you agree. As ZVEREV is now serving, can he save another break point? RUUD now with the forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV. It goes cross-court. RUUD now with the forehand cross-court to the forehand of ZVEREV. It goes to the backhand. No, RUUD runs around his backhand. Now RUUD with the forehand down the line. ZVEREV with the forehand now cross-court. Will RUUD get there? Yes, he does. Forehand. Oh, RUUD just overcooks that forehand as he goes for a winner. And it's another break point saved there. But it's still another break point in hand for RUUD, as ZVEREV will now be serving at 30-40. Jamie, nice to have you in the chat as well. Alcaraz on a slippery slope with injuries already. That's 3 slams off top of my head where he has been affected. Today, missed Australian Open and retired from the US Open 2 years ago. Yeah, that's a good point. Australian Open missing. And that's also why I thought earlier today, like, how insane it is that he's number 1 despite not having played the Australian Open at all. So that's quite impressive. But yeah, that is definitely something to note. Will that be a trend that we maybe see further down in his career? Also, maybe like we see with Sinner having some issues. But what's odd about Sinner, it's not always like a physical injury. It's like randomly gets ill, it seems like often, like a cold or a flu. So let's hope, I mean, no matter who you support, I guess we all hope that they can stay healthy and at least participate, regardless of who you are supporting. That's a massive, big backhand winner by Alexander ZVEREV as he goes cross-court with that backhand. And he saves all break points. It was love 40 and is now back to deuce. Very interesting ebb and flow in this match. Let's see, ZVEREV serving here at deuce. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see that we are 102 people online. Do hit the like button on this video if you're excited for this match, as I am. As ZVEREV is now serving to the forehand of RUUD. He's now standing very far behind the baseline. ZVEREV stepping in, but he hits the backhand cross-court in the net. And he shakes his head. That was a good opportunity because RUUD was not really in a position to be able to defend a backhand cross-court. He hits it in the net, and that means that it's another break point opportunity here for Casper RUUD. Carrie saying, I have absolutely no opinion on who will win this match. I just cannot handicap it. Well, Gary, it seems like the bookies feel exactly the same as you, because I was looking earlier today. Carlos Alcaraz was firm favorite for this match, so I put money on Djokovic because, as I also stated in the preview video, let's just see how quickly ZVEREV serving and he's facing a break point. I'm going to get back to the point now. Let's just see how quickly what ZVEREV does on this break point, as this could be crucial for the remainder of the set as he's serving. And he doesn't complete the toss. Let's see again. ZVEREV serving. He serves to the forehand of RUUD. He stands very far behind the baseline, and therefore ZVEREV stepping in, but he overcooks again. He overcooks the backhand. It's the right play, stepping in when RUUD is so far behind the baseline. But first, in the previous point, he hit the backhand in the net. Now he overcooks it, maybe with that thing in his mind of what happened in the earlier point. He overcooks the backhand, and that means that it is a break for the one and only Casper RUUD, and he gets that break back and now leads in. All right, will this be that type of match where we see many breaks? Let's see. Casper RUUD serving at 3-1.
On the card, y'all be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's heating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. Casper RUUD.
So getting back to your point, Gary. So I see, the bookies, they had Alcaraz as firm favorite in that previous match, which I sort of understand, but I was like, this is a Grand Slam, man. I mean, you cannot count out Novak Djokovic in a Grand Slam ever, unless maybe it is in the French Open against Nadal. But otherwise, he can never not be the favorite. So I was like, also as in the preview video for this tournament, I said Novak Djokovic because, I mean, it's a Grand Slam, so who else? Let's ignore the fact that I said Ostapenko at the women's side. I mean, we don't have to focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that I said Djokovic, and I might be correct. So yes, thank you very much. I am a genius. I agree. Thank you very much. So then in this match, I went to look at the odds, and it was like dead set. It was 50-50. And I'm like, that makes it is difficult to know who's going to win. So I did place money on RUUD. So let's see whether I can have 2 out of 2 today. RUUD now serving at 30-15. Chanel saying, I think he, now referring to Alcaraz, needs to learn match management. Too many splits and crazy body movements. That is an interesting point. So then when you ask later what I think about his match management, I was going to ask, do you mean match management in terms of which matches he plays? Or do you mean match management in terms of during the match, how he reserves his body? And I guess you mean the latter. And I would probably agree with you because, but I guess our sample isn't maybe too big, because if you won today, then we would have said, no, go for it. And it's easy to say in hindsight that because it didn't work today, therefore we conclude that she shouldn't do it. But it makes sense, right? That it's not feasible maybe throughout 5 sets to do all of those crazy things in a match. So it does seem like preliminarily that could be the conclusion that we can be making. The question now is also whether maybe those splits, as you talk about, and get to that ball, try to get to every ball. Maybe it's, the injury he had today is also an accumulation of not only what he did today, but also in previous matches. Maybe being up already 2.5 sets, and then he goes for these insane gets, and maybe that even plays a role then in a few matches later, which is maybe they're not necessary. Someone I always thought reserves his body pretty well is Federer. When players go for the lob, he would most often actually not try to even go for that ball because, is it really worth it? 1 point is 1 point, regardless of how you win or lose it in terms of the scoreline. And Max also agreeing that you make a great point about Carlos Alcaraz getting injured specifically in slams. Nature, how long will Djokovic continue? We had that debate in the previous match when I commentated ZVEREV against Echeverry. And I was quite surprised to see everybody, most people guessed 3 years. And I said, I think 6 years. Or I would say even more. I would not be surprised if it's more than 6. Okay, it will be interesting. But it's definitely not out of the possibility that he goes even longer for 6 years. There's just no stopping him in terms of his physical readiness for each match. So, what do you think? Hey, Ems, nice to see you in the chat again. Gary saying, he'll remember that Carlos was gaining control of the match at the end of the second set. I'm not astute enough to judge his match management, but I did observe that Novak had a firm plan. It's interesting because Novak also looked tired to me at a stage, right? Especially at the end of the second set. I was like, Novak is tired. And then maybe at the end of the day, what also played a role is Novak's like intelligence and IQ and experience to maybe also know that Alcaraz is probably also tired, and therefore it might be okay to reserve a bit of energy for later and then try to capitalize it when Alcaraz is maybe vulnerable. Gary saying, I think the match would have had at least 2 more momentum swings, and it was highly likely it would go to 5. Yeah, it's always that if and but, right? We'll never know. Jamie saying, everybody talks about Novak is monstrous at slam level, but Rafa leads the head-to-head at slam level. Let that sink in. That is interesting. It'll also be interesting to see a breakdown at each slam, how the breakdown looks over there. Yeah, I went for the Gary saying, how I'm picking Novak to win a slam. Absolute pure genius. Yeah, I call the massive upset that Novak Djokovic, who has only done it 23 times, or is it 22? Can't keep track. I thought, that's looking at the history, maybe that's not a bad pick. Capricorn, nice to see you again. Long time no see. I'm absolutely heartbroken. Watching Alcaraz barely walking, yet still fighting was too much for me to handle. Tell me, what is more sad to you? Is it that, or was it Zverev injury last year against Rafa? Neil saying, I'm on exactly about Federer. I was thinking he would never go crazy to get a ball at points which were not that important. Yeah, exactly, Neil. I agree completely. But I think it's about reading the match play. Like every point is not equally important. And I think in terms of who's the best at playing the important points, that's always been Novak Djokovic. He knows exactly when to go in and when to maybe preserve his body. Because there's this thing in tennis. It's called it's not just a tennis concept. It's a statistical concept called I can't remember what you call it. But it's maybe one of you in the chat know. But it's where you lose the match despite having had you won more points than the opponent in total, but you still lost the match. It's called maybe you can tell me in the chat, maybe some of you know, but it's called something, and that's quite interesting because that means then that probably the opponent, although he had less points in total, he won the more important points in that match. Carrie saying, plenty of people acknowledge Rafa's slam accomplishments, but as I keep saying, he's not here at this one. We lauded him over and over again when he won in Melbourne in Noel's absence. Yeah, true. I mean, there can never... This concept of then being an asterisk on a Grand Slam, I just don't buy that argument ever, regardless of who's playing or not playing. All right, that's a clutch point there by Zverev as RUUD is serving at 4-2, 30-15. Let's see, it's quite a full crowd there tonight. RUUD serving at 30-15. As he serves the forehand of Zverev, who returns in the net. That's a poor return, I must say. It wasn't a great serve, really. And it's 40-15. RUUD serving at 40-15. It's always a bit of a trauma flashback, the 40-15. I'm sure you know what I mean. All right, let's see. RUUD serving at 40-15. He serves a double fault. Oh, no, sorry. That was the first serve. It seems like the first one was a let. So it's now second serve for RUUD. As he serves to the forehand of Zverev, runs around to his forehand. Now Zverev stepping in with a big backhand cross-court to the backhand of RUUD, who gets the ball in. No, it's not in. Just wide there by RUUD, and that means it's point to Zverev, and it's 40-30. Hi, Cedric. Nice to have you in the chat as well. Jamie asking, how come Alcaraz versus Nole was first match on today? If it was Rafa, we all know it would be second match. I think it's actually based on the bracket. All right. I think it's actually because I also thought earlier when the schedule wasn't released yet, I was like, surely the other match is going to be in the night. But then it wasn't. And then my conclusion was then surely it's based on the bracket and not based on popularity because, I mean, clearly the first one was the more popular match. And then I thought it's similar to a few years back, 20, I can't remember what year that was, 19? When it was Rafa against Roger in the one semi-final. And that match was also first. I think the other one was Djokovic against Thiem. But yeah, it's when it was so windy. And then also you would think in terms of popularity, probably the Rafa Roger match would be more popular for the general audience. I'm not saying it should be or whatever. That's just what I think the general audience would watch. But then they were first as well, which also makes me think that it's probably a bracket thing and not a schedule thing that they can decide. But I mean, let me know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe they can decide the schedule. And then it is a bit odd because usually the second match is the popular one, or the popular one is rather placed second usually. Chanel saying, I'm on previous Slam singles players of India here on TV. We're discussing that fact. And it's not about hindsight. I think the first time Alcaraz faced one of the big three in Slam can't complete the match. Maybe also, it won't be the last time, eh? You'll probably face Djokovic a few more times. It will be interesting to see Alcaraz versus Nadal. Let's see whether we get that. All right, let's see. Zverev. Oh, that's a good deep shot there. Oh, no, it was too deep. It was long by RUUD. Zverev is now serving. RUUD is leading this set 5-2. Oh, no, it was in. So RUUD did get that point. It was a nice deep shot, and I think it was an awkward bounce, hence why he apologized. Zverev now serving at love 15. He serves the backhand of RUUD. Now Zverev stepping in with a big forehand, but now retreating. But it's fine because RUUD eats that ball in the net. Zverev serving at 15 all. Now, if RUUD breaks here, then he can serve first in the next set. So that's could be quite beneficial. Let's see. Zverev serving at 15 all. He serves a fault second serve. Zverev serving second serve to the backhand, but he runs around to his forehand, RUUD. Now Zverev stepping in with a big backhand to the forehand of RUUD. RUUD now with the forehand, it's just in. Zverev now with the cross-court backhand to the backhand of RUUD. Zverev stepping in. It clips the net, but it's in. RUUD now with the forehand to the forehand of Zverev. That's a big forehand by Zverev. Oh, but that's a beautiful forehand down the line by RUUD. It's not a winner, but it's unreturned there by Zverev. That was a great change of direction. As I've said earlier, doesn't seem like RUUD is hitting the ball very hard, but his placement is just magnificent throughout this match thus far. And he makes it awkward for Zverev, making it deep as well. And it's 15-30. So, Jamie asking, who challenges Nole at Wimbledon? Murray. Well, we shouldn't forget about Nick Kyrgios, right? I still think he can be a big factor there. Now, he hasn't played a lot the past few months, but I mean, he's the type of player that doesn't really need to practice. He'll be, I think, he never practices anyway, really. So, I mean, he'll be in the same form as we know him, I think. So I do think he can go for a very far run there as well. I was actually also thinking today, how interesting would it be? Because, I mean, we know that Kyrgios' ranking is not very high, right? Was he seeded last year? I think last year he wasn't even seeded. And then he faced Tsitsipas, was it in the third round? Oh, that's a beautiful cross-court winner there by Alexander Zverev as he fist bumps. Very, very well executed, and it's 30 all. So, given that I think Kyrgios will be seeded this year because he's ranked like 24, I think. So then that's at least like good for other players. But it could be interesting to see if like he faces, let's say, Alcaraz in like the third or fourth round. Imagine that. Or even Djokovic. I mean, you never know. So, I mean, that could be interesting. I always feel like with Wimbledon, the X factor is going to be who will need to face Kyrgios very early on. Well, that's for every Grand Slam. Like we saw Kyrgios also against Medvedev at the Australian Open, was it last year, I think, where Kyrgios didn't win, but it was a very, very close match. I think that was like the second round. Let's see. Zverev out of the forehand. He's stepping in. Is he going to go for the half volley? Yes, he is. But RUUD is running to the net. Will he get there? Yes, he does. Oh, that's beautiful by Casper RUUD. He got to the drop shot there, or the half volley rather, by Zverev at the net, and he was able to pull that away for a passing shot. Let's see that again on the replay. He got there at the net, and I think Zverev maybe thought he was going to hit it the other direction, but he went down the line to the backhand side of Zverev as he fist pumps there. And that means that's another break point opportunity for Casper RUUD. Not only is that a break point, it's a set point. And as I said earlier, that will mean that he'll first serve first in the next set if he does break it. Let's see. Zverev serving. He serves the backhand of RUUD, but it is in. And the return goes just long there by RUUD, and it's deuce. All right, let's see who's going to challenge Djokovic at Wimbledon. Schneil saying that, strange that it might sound, I will say Sinner, because he won 2 sets of Sinner, 2 sets of, Djokovic at Wimbledon last year. Very tough to do that. Yeah, he did very well there. I'm thinking he's probably not in the greatest form. But another, I think, surprise package could be Taylor Fritz. I think he's playing very well since Wimbledon last year. And he also had that 5-setter. Oh, that was against Nadal. No, was it? The Sinner 2 sets. Didn't he get it off Nadal? Or was it against Djokovic? I can't remember now. But the Taylor Fritz match was definitely against Nadal, where he got to 5 sets, and it was very close. And you say you think that grass is Sinner's best surface. It's also strange, like last year, Felix Auger-Aliassime was such a high prospect for the grass season, as he did so well early in that year, also against Nadal at the Roland Garros. But it seems like he's just in horrific form at the moment, so he's probably not going to be a contender at Wimbledon this year. Zverev serving advantage. He serves. It's a fault, second serve. Can he survive the service game? Josh Neal saying Fritz was against Nadal. And Sinner against who was that? Was that against Nadal or Djokovic? I can't remember. Let's see. Zverev serving to the serve and volley. He's at the net and he puts the volley away. Nice serve and volley effort there by Zverev, as RUUD was standing very far behind the baseline, and he does hold. And now RUUD will be serving for the first set, but a good hold there by Alexander Zverev. RUUD now serving for the set. It's return there went long, and his first point to RUUD, 15-love. RUUD serving, 15-love. He's standing very far behind the baseline here. Zverev now with the forehand to the backhand of RUUD. And now Zverev stepping in with a big forehand winner. That's a massive forehand winner there by Zverev. Stepping in when he needed to. And he gets that point, and it's 15-all. The ball very, very high, and he capitalizes that by hitting the ball downwards for a massive forehand winner. Let's see. 15-all, RUUD serving for the set. RUUD serves. Oh, is that in? Yes, it's an ace. Beautiful serve there by RUUD, and he takes that point, and it's 30-15. Great serve. 2 aces for RUUD thus far, and 1 for Zverev. I think you probably would have guessed that Zverev would have more aces in this match thus far, but RUUD sticking it. As he's 30-15, let's see. He's serving. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV, who's now retreating. RUUD now to the baseline back. ZVEREV now with the forehand to the forehand of RUUD, who goes to the backhand of ZVEREV, who steps in. RUUD now with the forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV. ZVEREV looking in control of this rally. ZVEREV stepping in with the backhand cross-court, but ZVEREV now with a lob will smash. ZVEREV smashes it, but RUUD gets there. But RUUD hits that in the net. That's great play there by ZVEREV, stepping in once again when he sees the opportunity. And it's 30-all. I must say I'm liking the play by ZVEREV. Like, I feel like he's very smart on when to stay behind the baseline and when to come in. And he's been coming in quite frequently now throughout this set. And it seems like it's working. 30-all. RUUD serving to the forehand of ZVEREV, but that serve is just out. ZVEREV standing very, very far behind the baseline here. But now he's stepping in. No, he's not stepping in with the second serve. Let's see. Second serve. RUUD serving to the forehand of ZVEREV, who hits it to the backhand of RUUD. It's a nice and deep return. ZVEREV now in control. He hits that to the backhand of RUUD. ZVEREV now with the backhand cross-court to the forehand now of RUUD, who goes to his forehand. And now RUUD with the backhand to the... No, RUUD hits that ball long. That's not a good error there by Casper RUUD, and it's a break back point. And maybe Schneel is right that ZVEREV will be breaking back here. Jamie asking, do you think Rafa is definitely retiring next year, even if he's injury-free? That's a good question, Jamie. The thing is, when you say even if he's injury-free, somehow I find it extremely unlikely, and maybe that's a bit negative. Personally, I find it unlikely that he will be injury-free. Like, free, injury-free, no injury. I think his injury can be less severe, but injury-free, I just think it's so unlikely to be the case, unfortunately. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I am wrong. Let's see. RUUD now going to the forehand of ZVEREV. ZVEREV now with the backhand down the line. Will RUUD get there? Yes, he does. But ZVEREV stepping in with a forehand cross-court. Oh, but ZVEREV hits that ball wide. Golden opportunity there to break back. But it's now back to deuce. So if, let's say, he is injury-free, will he keep on playing? Will he retire? I think he will keep on playing if he's injury-free. So that's my answer. I mean, it's all speculation, right? I think he will keep on playing if he's injury-free. But unfortunately, I don't think that's quite likely that he will be completely injury-free. Let's see. RUUD now serving at deuce. Tell me, what do you think? He serves the forehand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with a big forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV, who's very far behind the baseline. RUUD with a drop shot, therefore. Will ZVEREV get there? Yes, he does, but he overcooks that. ZVEREV overcooks that when he gets to the ball, and it's point to RUUD. Nice vision there by Casper RUUD, seeing that ZVEREV is very far behind the baseline, thereby going for the drop shot. Nice. And I think that's the first time that he's tried it this match, and it worked. So I would really, if I was him, but hey, he knows much better than me, but I would go for that drop shot more often. And it's advantage and therefore set point for Casper RUUD. Can he get this? He serves as a fault. Second serve. Second serve. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV, who returns that ball wide. And that means that it's first set to the one and only Casper RUUD. He takes this first set. Is this an indication of what the next sets could hold in for us? We'll have to see. In terms of quality, I've been very, very impressed with Casper RUUD this match. Not hitting it very big, but his direction and placement has been exquisite.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
All right, let's see. Cedric saying, I don't understand why they stand so far back on a first serve. I know it's about power, but doesn't it put it at a disadvantage for a drop shot from the server? And I must say, I completely agree with you. But then I'm also humble enough to admit that they probably know better than us. So but I mean, I feel that way, definitely. And I think it's a combination. Then maybe also players maybe not being very good at executing the drop shots, because look at Kyrgios, right? He's excellent at executing the drop shot, and it works every time against Medvedev. They've played often, and he has so much success against Medvedev, and it's because Medvedev is standing so far behind the baseline, and then drop shots keep on working. So that is interesting. And also, I'm wondering whether players shouldn't, and I know it's a controversial topic, but the underarm serve. I feel like if players are standing so far behind the baseline, why are they not at least considering the underarm serve now and then? And here's my thing. You might now go and look at the success factor of the underarm serve and say, well, if you go and look at it, you win actually less than 50% of the points of the underarm serve. But I think that you can't look at it like that in isolation, because I think doing an underarm serve is much more than just that point. What it does so much more than that, because what it does is it creates doubt in the opponent's mind, because then for the next serve, you're not really sure what to expect, and where to stand. So even if the underarm serve is more unsuccessful than not, I do feel that it's a tactic that should be deployed, because that will influence the other points which are not underarm serves by placing some doubt in the opponent's mind and making them unsure where to stand. Tell me whether you agree with that. Compliment King, nice to have you in the chat once again. I remember you in the chat in my previous stream. Well, I did a stream yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Day before yesterday, where you went there. But I remember in the previous stream I did, who was that? I think it was Shapovalov against... Can't remember. But yeah, nice to see you again. Right, ZVEREV stepping in at the net. He waits for the ball to bounce and then goes for the smash, and that is wise. And he takes the first point, 15-love. Saga saying Roddick was right. He said, first he takes your legs today. I see Novak takes Carlos' legs, and Carlos fans sold too. Novak Djokovic is the beast. I saw Roddick posting on Twitter today saying that people that say that the players were better 20 years ago just live in denial, which a lot of people disagreed with in the comments. So it was quite a thought-provoking post by him. ZVEREV serving at 15-love. He serves to the forehand of RUUD, who goes to the forehand of ZVEREV. Now ZVEREV, the cross-court forehand. RUUD now responding with a deep cross-court forehand, but it goes just long, though. And it's 30-love. Talking about tennis from 20 years ago, I assume we will have some form of exhibition match between Alcaraz and Federer, right? Surely that will happen. I mean, we had an exhibition match between Sampras and Federer after Sampras's retirement. Now, I know they did play on tour as well once, but I'm thinking surely they will have some form of exhibition. Now, I'm not sure whether Federer is capable of playing even a full singles exhibition with his knee. I don't know. But then at least then doubles could be also interesting. Like, let's say Federer and... I don't know. Who would be the four? Tell me in the chat. What do you think will be a good doubles combination? Because I'm thinking, if Federer, Nadal, and Alcaraz, who would you want the fourth person to be in the doubles match? Tell me in the chat. We've got Federer, we've got Alcaraz, we've got Nadal. Who do you want the fourth person to be? Do you want it to be Djokovic? Do you want it to be Sampras? Do you want it to be Agassi, Roddick? Tell me in the chat, what are your thoughts on such a potential charity match, if you will? Maybe even Murray? Or like a Federer and Swiatek versus Alcaraz and Serena Williams. Something like that will also be interesting, I guess. All right, RUUD is now serving. ZVEREV held his first service game. As they're just waiting for the crowd. I'm not sure what's exactly happening over there. Complimenting going for Patrick Rafter. That will be interesting. All right, let's see. RUUD serving. Almost. Strange outfit. What do you think? He serves to... it's a fault. Kalem saying that RUUD is going to take this in straight sets. RUUD serving. To the forehand of ZVEREV. It goes cross-court. RUUD now with a cross-court forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV. ZVEREV now stepping in with the backhand and he's going to the net. Will he put away the volley? Yes, he does. That's beautiful net play there by ZVEREV. And he takes that first point. I must say, ZVEREV is also playing quite well in this match thus far. Going into the net when he sees the opportunity to do so. It's always been strange to me that ZVEREV is not really performing on grass. Like, what are your thoughts in the chat? Because I would think that grass would suit him. He has a big serve, and his net play clearly is also on point. So it is strange to me that he struggles on the grass. Let's see. RUUD now with the forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV. Goes cross-court. RUUD now with the forehand. Again, cross-court to the backhand of ZVEREV. Also goes cross-court. And now ZVEREV with the forehand. And he overcooks that one. And it's 15 all. RUUD serving at 15 all. He serves the forehand of ZVEREV. And RUUD now goes with a forehand to the backhand. ZVEREV doing all the running. RUUD now at the net. Will ZVEREV get to that ball? No, he can't get there. That's a beautiful volley there by RUUD at the net. It's 30-15. Oh, compliment King Yao. We shared the famous Tsitsipas toilet break moment match in 2022 when the jokes just kept going. Yeah, it rings a bell. Can't remember exactly what the... Oh, yeah, I remember now exactly what it was about. Because someone got a warning or like a... some kind of... Was it a warning or was it like a penalty or something? Because they took a toilet break without using the toilet. And then we were talking about, like, how do you determine whether the toilet was used or not? And then we had a lot of toilet jokes, which, as we know, is the best kind of humor that you can have on the interweb. Gary saying, I was surprised that so many experts thought RUUD had a big advantage in this match, but it shows what I know at the end of the day. Sasha may have a say before it's over, though. Yeah, well, the odds were 50-50, Gary. So it seems like maybe the experts thought that RUUD, but it seems like the general population did think it's going to be a very, very close match. So I guess you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. And also, as you state, this still could go any way. I mean, ZVEREV is not playing poorly at all, so it can still go anyway, I think. Ah, that's a great serve there by RUUD. As he takes that point 40-30. But I must say, in terms of quality, this is a much higher quality match than the ZVEREV Echeverry one. To be honest, I was commentating and I was like, this is not good. I mean, it was just error. But this is a much higher quality match here between RUUD and ZVEREV. Both of them playing quite well. Now, RUUD, with the forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV, goes cross-court, but now forehand of RUUD now to the forehand of ZVEREV, who tries to go for a winner with his forehand, but he hits that just wide, and that means that RUUD takes that service game and has won game all in the second set.
On the cloud, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
All right, still evenly poised. ZVEREV now serving at one game all. He goes with that ball very high in the air. Now ZVEREV, like, he just don't care. And now Zverev with a backhand down the line, but RUUD gets there with a forehand. Now backhand of Zverev, who scoops that, but it's in. Now Zverev with a backhand cross-court. Now RUUD with a backhand cross-court. Zverev now with a backhand cross-court. And now RUUD with a slice. Ooh, drop shot. Now Zverev gets there. And Zverev puts that ball away. The drop shot was just not executed to perfection by RUUD. Zverev was able to get there comfortably. But then it's not that easy to then be there at the net and scoop that ball over the high part of the net with a backhand. But he did that successfully across the line, and it's point to Zverev. Compliment King. Maybe this has been answered already, but which of these two players has a better chance of beating Novak? Yeah, it's an interesting question. I did address this earlier. I see Gary also commented on this in the previous live stream. I can't remember what your answer was, Gary. I think you said something in the lines of that both will be a challenge, like the polite person that you are. My opinion, I said before this match, I think RUUD is favorite to win this match, but ironically, I do think Zverev has a better chance against Djokovic just because of having that X factor. I mean, Djokovic is going to be the firm favorite either way, but I think in terms of a ceiling that you can have, like, I think on average, RUUD is maybe a bit more stable in terms of his form. Like he can reduce the unforced errors, but against Djokovic, that doesn't help. Like not having unforced errors, that is not sufficient. So I feel like against Djokovic, it's about who can perform at a highest possible level. And I think RUUD unfortunately has that a bit of a ceiling, while Zverev does have that X factor then that can trouble Djokovic. So I would think that Zverev would be more trouble for Djokovic than RUUD. Tell me whether you agree. And you do agree. Well, look at that. I expect nothing less from the compliment king to politely agree. Let's see. Zverev, 30-15. Serving to the backhand of RUUD. Now Zverev, though. Oh, that's a great forehand there by Zverev with the angle. Now RUUD is totally in trouble, but he gets it. Now Zverev at the net. Will he put away the volley? Yes, he does. That was beautiful. It all started with a forehand by Zverev, creating a very, very nice angle, and that placed RUUD out of position. And then from there, Zverev was just able to dictate, letting Zverev run around to all places. And at the end, Zverev putting away the volley. All right, net points 1. Zverev 4 out of 5, and RUUD 1 out of 1. Great serve there by Zverev. Big backhand to the backhand of RUUD. He does all the running. Zverev now with the backhand. Cross-court is just in. Now Zverev with the backhand on the line. RUUD will get there. It's in the air. Will it fall in? Yes, it does. Zverev's not going to go for the smash, but from behind the background, behind the baseline. And he puts that away, the smash effectively, Zverev there, as he takes that point. And that means that he takes the game. And he leads. Still on serve, but he leads, and he's very, very much still in this match. Don't go anywhere. Together we can find out who will take out Novak Djokovic. Will it be Zverev? Will it be RUUD? Let's find out. All right. Yeah, I must say, Gary, what I found like quite cool from Novak today is all the hot shots that Alcaraz played. He applauded all of them. So that was quite nice to see how he acknowledged all the good shots played by Alcaraz today. As they show Paris there with the camera. Tell me in the chat, have any of you been to the French Open? And if so, how was that experience? All right, Casper RUUD serving. He serves to the forehand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with a forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV, who goes in the middle of the court, who's going to change direction first. Now RUUD with a cross-court forehand. ZVEREV in control of this rally. RUUD now with a big forehand to the forehand of ZVEREV, but RUUD is running around like crazy. And at the end, RUUD hits that ball into the net, and it's love 15. Total points won, 40-40. Interesting. 40 points won by RUUD, 40 by ZVEREV. Also mirroring what the odds were before this match, exactly 50-50. But as we know in tennis, it's not about the points that you win in total, it's about what points you win. And therefore, despite 40-40, RUUD is leading in this match. All right, let's see. ZVEREV now. RUUD overcooks that ball once again, and it's love 30. A bit of a window of opportunity here for Alexander ZVEREV. RUUD serving at love 30. Serving at ZVEREV. Now RUUD with a big forehand, which goes wide. Wide by RUUD, and is love 40. Surely ZVEREV will capitalize on one of these break points. Currently, he's on 1 out of 6. That's like Federer level conversion. Surely he'll get one of these upcoming threes. RUUD serving at love 40. Gary saying, I'm on what you said about Novak, smiling, shaking his head at Carlos' brilliance and applauding his shots. Why don't more people see that? Yep, I agree with you there, Gary. I agree with you. RUUD serving, second serve at love 40. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV, and ZVEREV returns that ball in the net. That's a weak return there by ZVEREV. Oh, if ZVEREV was a bank, I would not give him my money because the returns he's offering is horrible. Thank you very much. Although I can't claim it really. It's like from an old FIFA game. One of the commentators makes such a comment, so I can't claim it. All right, let's see. RUUD serving at 15-40. It's a big serve. That's a great serve. Is that an ace? I think it was an ace. Either way, it was unreturned. And it's 30-40. All right, let's see. RUUD, 30-40, serving. He serves a fault, second serve. Still break point opportunity here for ZVEREV. RUUD serving to the backhand of ZVEREV. It's a good return. RUUD now with the backhand to the backhand of ZVEREV. Goes cross-court. Slice now by RUUD. I don't know about that, eh? And now RUUD with the backhand to the forehand of ZVEREV, who's in control of this rally. ZVEREV in control. Is at the net. He's going to put it as drop shot. Oh, what a horrible miss by ZVEREV. Oh, my goodness. Did you see that? If you did, what did you think about that? Oh, come on. That was such an easy put away there by ZVEREV at the net, but he decided to go for a drop shot. Oh, he decides to go for a drop shot and he puts that ball in the net. And it's deuce. Oh, that must feel horrible. Well, I know it does because I've done that often. But I mean, that's more excusable. I'm not a tennis pro. Oh, and it's 3 break points opportunities missed by ZVEREV again. It's now 1 out of 9. RUUD with the 7 volley. He puts the volley away, but now he needs to smash again. And he does go for the smash. It's in. ZVEREV now with the backhand to the backhand of RUUD, who goes cross-court. Now ZVEREV with the backhand cross-court. RUUD now with the forehand cross-court to the backhand of ZVEREV, who slices. Now, oh, that's in. Oh, beautiful forehand by RUUD. Oh, that's just clutch. Beautiful, because that ball by ZVEREV landed on the baseline, which made it very awkward for RUUD, but he was able to place his forehand then in the corner where ZVEREV was not able to get there. That's just beautiful play by both, I must say. Oh, that's just beautiful. And that means it's like, what, 4 points in a row now by RUUD, as he now has advantage. RUUD, advantage, serving. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV. It goes, no, it's a fault. Second serve. This is a very, very entertaining service game, I must say. If you agree with me, hit that like button on this video. Let's see whether we can get, I'm not sure where we are at the moment, so I don't want to say a ridiculous target, but let's see where we can get. Big forehand down the line by RUUD. ZVEREV running, he gets there. RUUD now with a big forehand cross-court. The forehand of ZVEREV goes to the backhand, and the ball of ZVEREV goes long, and RUUD survives. Love 40, and he survives that game. Was it RUUD playing clutch tennis? Was it ZVEREV choking? Oh, it's a bit of combination of both, really. That drop shot at the net of ZVEREV was shocking, and he misses out on breaking in this game. That must feel horrible, but it's a very, very good hold by the one and only Casper RUUD.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
2-all, ZVEREV serving. How will that last opportunity affect him? He's serving at 2-all. He's serving to the forehand of RUUD, who goes cross-court to the forehand of ZVEREV. Nice and deep return, which I always feel is underrated, the deep return. Great cross-court there by RUUD. Now he goes for a slice to the backhand of ZVEREV. It's a nice backhand there by ZVEREV, in control of this rally. He goes with a backhand cross-court to the backhand of RUUD, who goes on the line to the forehand of ZVEREV. And ZVEREV hits the ball in the net. One of the easier balls, but he hits that one in the net, and it's love 15. Unforced errors, RUUD 14 and ZVEREV 22. ZVEREV serving. Love 15 at 2-all. He serves to the back. That's a great serve. Too much power there. But it was so great that it was in fact out. So it's second serve. Apologies for that. I don't have audio, so I just see that, wow, it's big, but then it was out. Second serve, love 15. He serves to the forehand of RUUD, who there's a nice return there. Now RUUD with the forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV. ZVEREV in control. RUUD now with a slice. ZVEREV coming into the net. Half volley. And the half volley's in the net by ZVEREV. Great running there by RUUD, I must say. And Nature Exploring saying ZVEREV is done for the day. I must say there are a few errors now here in the past 2 games, which doesn't look that great, does it? I wonder whether that will influence his decision of coming into the net, because there's now 2 errors where he made an error at the net. So maybe you will try to then stick at the baseline for a while. Serving at love 30. Oh, after being up love 40 in the previous game, that's insane. But that's tennis. That's why we love this sport. It's a fault second serve for ZVEREV. Second serve, love 30. He serves the forehand, a good serve to the forehand of RUUD. Now ZVEREV with the backhand. RUUD running around to his forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with the forehand, overcooks it. Overcooks it. Oh, wow, Gary. That is great news. Gary sharing with us that Tanya, his wife, bride, is now cancer-free for 27 months. Well done. I was so glad to hear that, Gary. All of us here at Game to Love, very, very happy to hear that news. ZVEREV serving to RUUD. Now RUUD with a backhand to the forehand of ZVEREV. Goes cross-court to the forehand of RUUD, who overcooks that ball. And it's 30-all. 30 all. He serves to the backhand of RUUD. And now Zverev stepping in. Now a lob by RUUD. It's in the air. Zverev will smash. And RUUD gets there though. Now Zverev a bit into no man's land as RUUD tries to capitalize by getting the ball deep. But RUUD takes that ball wide and Zverev survives in that point. And it's 40-30 for Zverev. Gold Flex and congrats, Gary. What a great day for you guys. Hope you have a celebratory weekend. And Gary providing some background. She was diagnosed with a late stage ovarian cancer in May 2015. She really should not be here, yet she is in remission now for over 2 years after many, many difficult days. Yeah, we can only try to understand what you must have been going through, Gary. And so glad to hear the good news. And clearly she's also a big, big fighter. So very, very glad to hear that wonderful news. Thank you very much. And Zverev was able to hold serve there after being down love 30. So despite not capitalizing on any of the break points in the previous game, he does hold his service game and he leads the set, still on serve, 3-2. And there's a drinks break. And they place their bottles down exactly at the same time. Coincidence? I think not. I think we should investigate. As we see the Eiffel Tower. I must say, it's not really one of my big bucket lists to see the Eiffel Tower. I'm quite afraid of heights. So, yeah, rather not. RUUD serving at 2-3. Andre saying you missed my answer earlier. Do you think Mugava can end her fairy tale on a high tomorrow? And then I made a brilliant joke, Andre. So I'll repeat the joke. Nobody laughed, but I mean, I'm used to that. But then I said, the closest that Mugava can get to a shot tomorrow is if she takes a Jägermeister. So no, I don't think so. To be honest, I'll be surprised if she gets more than 3 games tomorrow. I think Swiatek is just on a different level. And yes, Gary, you should definitely repeat that tomorrow for the other GTL family members as well. I think everybody will be very glad to hear that as well and celebrate with you. RUUD now with the forehand to the forehand of Zverev, who's now retreating. Now he steps in again. And now RUUD with the backhand to the backhand of Zverev goes cross-court. And now RUUD with the cross-court backhand. And now cross-court backhand by Zverev. And now backhand by RUUD, which just goes long and is 15 all. And Andre's saying it's a good one. Thank you. I thought so too. Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity to repeat the brilliant joke. Casey saying that RUUD is looking terrible. Yeah, I don't agree. I think he's looking quite good. I'm assuming you're not referring to my joke, which was obviously top caliber. All right, let's see. RUUD serving to the forehand of... oh, that's good net play there by RUUD, putting that volley away. And it's 30-15. Andre saying, I'm rooting for Mukova tomorrow. Found her at 5-1. Oh, really? Is that the odds? Okay, that is quite harsh, I must say. 5-1. Wow. Is that really the odds for a final of a Grand Slam? Casey in a good way. Well, of course. Of course. I mean, yeah. I thought the joke was inspired. Thank you very much. All right, it's 40-15 for RUUD. He's serving to make it level at 3-all. Let's see whether he can do just that. As he serves to the forehand of Zverev. It's a good serve. Drop shot! Oh, but the drop shot is not executed to perfection. It's in the net. And now it's 40-30. I'm just saying Igea was 110. Iga, I assume. So tell me, Andres, which app do you use for sports betting, or where do you see those? I use Betway, but then it's not like a 1 out of, it's like a 1 point. So yeah, I think it looks a bit different. Also, like how they show the odds, like in what format. Schneel, nice to see you again after a bit of silence. This is going like the Novak Carlos match in terms of scoreline. Yes, true. Let's hope it's not as well. I guess from a neutral perspective, let's hope it does go long. Currently, it's in my region. It's now 8:30 in the evening. Now we've got load shedding at 10 o'clock, and unfortunately, I won't have any generators that will kick in at 10. So I will be commentating until 10 only, and then if needed, someone else will step in at 10 o'clock. So I'm here with you for 90 more minutes. Let's see what the scoreline will be at that stage. But currently, as it's looking, it could go on for quite a while. As Zverev is now serving, and it's love 15. Zverev serving. He serves. Oh, that's a great serve. Was it in, though? No, it's not. It's a fault. Second serve. Coldflake asking, where am I at? I'm from South Africa. So I'm at a place called Stellenbosch. So I work at Stellenbosch University, and I'm currently in my office actually at the university. So yeah, South African, hence my bad English accent, as my native language is actually a language called Afrikaans. Let's see. Zverev now hitting the forehand nice and deep. Now Zverev with the backhand cross-court. Is that in? No, he just overcooks that backhand, Zverev. And it's love 30 on Zverev's serve. And that was quite a long rally. I think if I saw correctly now, it was 17 shots. Surprisingly, I don't want to jinx this, but Zverev has only had one double fault throughout this match, which is probably the least he's ever had at this stage of any match. Zverev serving at love 30. To the forehand of RUUD. Now Zverev with the forehand to the forehand of RUUD. He goes down the line. Zverev now with the backhand. RUUD in control of this rally. But Zverev now stepping in with the forehand, backhand cross-court. And now Zverev with the backhand, again cross-court to the backhand of RUUD, who goes to the forehand of Zverev, as they're now just exchanging nicely. Zverev now stepping in with a big backhand, but it's just long. That backhand by Zverev, who tried to pull the trigger. And it's love 40. Well, that sounds familiar. If it does sound familiar, it's because we had love 40. But previously, it was love 40 on the serve of RUUD, and now it's love 40 on the serve of Zverev. Can RUUD capitalize on one of these breakpoint opportunities? The breakpoint conversion is 1 out of 9 for Zverev. For RUUD, it's 2 out of 6. And he has 3 at his disposal right now. Can he break and lead in the second set and take control of this match? Let's see Zverev serving. He serves to the forehand of RUUD. It's not a great return there, but RUUD now to the forehand of Zverev, who tries to go for a big forehand. And now Zverev at the net. Now RUUD going to pass. Oh, that's a beautiful passing shot by Casper RUUD. Beautiful passing shot. Not easy to execute. Zverev at the net, but RUUD is like, I'm going to pass you. And he takes the break, and he leads in the set 4-3. Beautiful passing shot there by Casper RUUD. And it's a break. And RUUD now in firm control of this match, it seems. He's up a set and a break. Can he take this and clinch this set and then maybe even steamroll and send a message to Novak and say, listen, I'm not just here to play. I'm actually going to compete and I'm going to maybe give you a bit of a challenge. Let's see. Or is ZVEREV going to come back and utilize a bit of those break points coming his way? Let's find out. But for now, it's Casper RUUD leading in this second set.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Schneel asking, Haman, following cricket lately? I must be honest, no. I haven't followed it recently. I don't think South Africa has been playing recently. But I'm sort of a fake fan, I must admit, in the sense that if my country's not playing well, then I don't really like to watch, which is poor. But hey, that's where I am at the moment. Similar to football. Like I've always been an Arsenal fan. And then, but yeah, from like 2017 to 22, I didn't really watch much because Arsenal was doing so badly. And then they were doing so well this year. And then suddenly I'm like, okay, now I'm watching again. So, I mean, that's also a bit of a fake fan, really. RUUD now at the net. Oh, that's a great put away there by ZVEREV at the net. And he takes the first point, love 15. Goldflex saying, oh, nice. Like Trevor Noah's first language. I don't think his first language is Afrikaans. No, it's probably... I'm not sure whether English is his first language or Xhosa, maybe. I think his mother is Xhosa and his father is Swiss, as far as I remember. Casey saying, I think my mom might have gone there, Haman. I remember her talking about that place for sure. Okay, interesting. You mean Stellenbosch specifically? Yeah, so Stellenbosch in South Africa, it's close to Cape Town, which you've maybe heard of before. That's where the Roger and Rafa match was in 2020. I was there, but I mean, as you know, like they went for this record attendance thing. So it was in a football stadium. And which is, as you know, there's a reason why they don't have tennis matches in football stadiums. I mean, you just can't see anything really. So they say it was Roger and Rafa. It could have been anybody. You couldn't really see who it is. So it was a cool atmosphere. Like the vibe was nice. But in terms of the tennis itself, you couldn't really see a thing. So, and also it's an exhibition, so it's not like you're not really seeing them how they usually play, right? So it was a cool vibe, but it wasn't really like tennis at its highest level. Schneel saying, in my honest opinion, this is the best I've ever seen RUUD play on clay. I must say he's playing really, really well and directing his forehand really well. Changing direction very nicely. Will it be enough against Novak? I don't think so. But you never know. Casey saying, yes, she was South African. Was South African. I was born there, but we moved. Oh, okay. When I was a baby. So where do you stay now, Casey? And Schneel saying maybe ZVEREV is going to break back here. We'll see. It's 15-all. ZVEREV now with the forehand of RUUD, who goes cross-court. It's a nice cross-court forehand there by RUUD. And now he goes down the line. ZVEREV, will he get there? Yeah, but RUUD is now at the net. He's going to smash. Will he smash this? Yes, he smashes that successfully. Well done. He first let the ball bounce. And now he leads 30-15. Goldflake, yeah, true. Trevor Noah, he just speaks Afrikaans. It's not his first language. Yeah, I think you're correct. I wonder how many languages he can speak. I assume it's quite a bit. RUUD, 30-15, serving. He serves the backhand of ZVEREV, who goes to the RUUD. Oh, that's beautiful play there by RUUD. He's out of position, but he gets there quickly back to his position where he should be. And now the ball is bouncing very, very high. And now RUUD is going with the backhand to the backhand of ZVEREV, who goes cross-court to the backhand of RUUD, who goes cross-court with his backhand, as they exchange backhands cross-court nicely. Who's going to change direction? Who's going to go down the line? ZVEREV goes down the line. Now RUUD with the slice to the forehand of ZVEREV. Now ZVEREV with a big forehand down the line, but RUUD gets there again. ZVEREV in control at the net, and he puts that away, ZVEREV. Nicely controlled there. And it's 30 all. Come on, ZVEREV, you can do it, says Sajar. Casey, I'm in the UK now, but spent most of my time in the US. All right. Tell me in the chat, where are you from? Are you currently in a strange time zone? Currently for me in South Africa, it's 20 to 9 in the evening. Maybe some of you actually having breakfast now, which could be interesting. RUUD, 30 all. To the backhand of ZVEREV. Now ZVEREV with a forehand to the forehand of RUUD. He's running around a lot in this match, but it's working well. Now he goes with the backhand down the line. ZVEREV gets there with a forehand. Oh, that's beautiful there by RUUD because it was nice and deep. And ZVEREV wasn't able to handle that ball on the line. As he takes that point, RUUD, and it's 40-30. If he holds here, he will be leading 5-3 in the second set. Yeah, Nature Explorer is saying Djokovic was speaking French today. It's just insane how these tennis players are able to speak so many languages. It's really impressive. RUUD serving at 40-30. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV. Serve and volley. Oh, and ZVEREV returns that in the net. I wonder if it was caused by RUUD running in. But an interesting choice there by RUUD to serve and volley. And he takes the game. And therefore he leads 5-3. Comfortable, looking very comfortable, but anything can happen, as Ellie Goulding says. So let's see whether ZVEREV can hold his serve, and then from there, you never know what can happen. Schneel saying it's currently, wow, 10 past 12 at night in Mumbai. That is very late, Schneel. Are you going to stay up for the remainder of this match, or do you think you're going to go to bed soon? ZVEREV serving at 3-5. He serves to the backhand of RUUD. It's not a good return. ZVEREV at the net. Now RUUD with a lob. And ZVEREV smashes. Oh, that's a beautiful smash executed there by ZVEREV. One of the more difficult smashes, but he gets that right. And he takes that point 15 love. And Goldflex saying he was in Delhi recently. And Schneel going to bed pretty soon. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's quite late. 10 past 12. ZVEREV serving at 15 love. He serves to the forehand of RUUD. It's a good serve. ZVEREV now with a big forehand to the backhand of RUUD. He's now very far behind the baseline. ZVEREV stepping in with a forehand winner for ZVEREV. And it's 30 love. ZVEREV serving at 30 love. He serves. Is that an ace? It is. It's an ace. 214 kilometers per hour. And that's a third ace by ZVEREV. And it's 40 love. So far, comfortable service game, yeah? ZVEREV serving. Fault, second serve. He serves to the backhand of RUUD. He's standing very far behind the baseline. ZVEREV in control, and he puts that ball away very easily. And he holds a game to love. Do 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 do. All right, so RUUD will be serving for the second set. Sajar saying RUUD playing a next level. Sasha ZVEREV must raise his level, otherwise ZVEREV's game is over. Yeah, in terms of tactics for ZVEREV, what can he do differently? Well, I don't think he played badly, really. I think there were just a few moments where, like, for example, the Love 40, where he had like an opportunity to break and then he didn't capitalize any of them and made some errors at the net, which he usually wouldn't make. So I think that unfortunately cost him. You must utilize those opportunities because they won't come often the way that the way that RUUD is playing today. In terms of tactics, I would say keep on doing what you're doing. Just when the opportunities arrive, use them. Nature Explorer, who has the most aces of all time in tennis? I think it's John Isner. Let's Google this, but I'm quite sure it's John Isner. And I think in second place it's what's his name again? Dr. Karlovic. I think it's Isner and then Karlovic. Let's guess. I'm not going to look. I'm first going to guess the rankings, and maybe in the chat you can guess with me. I'm thinking it's Isner first and then Karlovic. And then it's difficult to say who will be third. I think Federer will be very high up there, actually, because of his longevity as well. Will he be third, though? Because who are other contenders? Sampras is probably in contender as well. Ivan Nisevic. Will he be there? Maybe. And then Raonic, I'm guessing he didn't play enough matches to be up there, maybe. So I'm going to go 1 Isner, 2 Karlovic, 3 between Sampras and Federer, and then 4 Sampras or Federer, and 5 Ivan Nisevic. But I'm not sure. Let's see. Tennis, most aces of all time. Aces, AB due to a tennis. Let's see. All right, so 1, John Isner, 2, Karlovic, 3, Roger Federer, number 4, Ivan Nisevic. Oh, number 5 is quite a surprise. So actually in the chat, if you haven't Googled this now, try to guess who is number 5. It's not Sampras. Can you guess in the chat who is number 5 for the most aces of all time? And I'm going to be like a typical social media post in the heading, like, number 5 will shock you. Because it's quite a surprise to me. Unfortunately, Goldflake looked it up. Okay, so you can't play in the game. After 3, you are way off. Yeah, it seems like so. Well, no, number 4 I got Ivan Nisevic. I said Ivan Nisevic. So Schneil saying, give you 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute, but don't Google. Guess number 5. So number 1 is John Isner with 14,200 aces. And then number 2, Ivo Karlovic with 13,700. Roger Federer third with 11,400. Goran Ivanisevic with 10,200. And then only 16 aces less, number 5. Try to guess who that is. As RUUD will be serving now for the second set at 40-15. Schneil guessing Gilles Simon. It's not Gilles Simon. Gilles Simon is number... I can't see him on the list. So no, it's not Gilles Simon. Lexi saying, just dropping by to say hi to all. Hi, nice to have you in the chat quickly. Adrian asking for a clue. I'll give you a clue now. Let's see quickly. 40-15. He serves to the forehand of ZVEREV. And now, that's a big forehand winner by Casper RUUD. And he takes the second set. Beautiful clutch play there as he leads this game. 6-3, 6-4. Casper RUUD. All right, so any clue? Schneil asking Pete Sampras. It's not Pete Sampras. Okay, so let's give you a clue, but I don't want to give it away. So what clue am I going to give without giving away too much? Okay, I just want to fact check myself here before I make this statement. Okay, I'm correct. So My clue is that the player is still active. Still active player, number 5. So because this player is still active, it's not Andy Roddick. It's not Sampras. It's not Ljubicic. While you are thinking, let's play the song for the one and only person who won this set. Guess Andy Murray. It's not Andy Murray. Andy Murray is number, let's see whether he's on this list. He's number 20, Andy Murray. All right, but let's give it up for Casper RUUD, who is now leading in this match 2 sets to love.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
And ding, 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 we have a winner. Nature Explorer saying Lopez. It is indeed Feliciano Lopez, standing in 5th place at 10,221 aces. I think largely due to the amount of matches that he played. He played 972 matches. To put it in perspective, Goran Ivanisevic, who's at number 4, played only 731 matches. So 731 versus 972. And then Roger has 1,462 matches. Ivo Karlovic is 694 matches. So let's do a bit of math here. Where is my Excel? Because I actually want to check. Isner has more aces, but maybe per match played, Karlovic is actually ahead. Okay, my Excel is loading. Still loading. I think there are so many apps running now at the same time that the computer is not like, no, surely not Excel as well. Right, here we go. So, it's still thinking. Okay, so we've got Isner. He has 14,222 aces in 760 matches. And Karlovic has 13,728 aces in 694 matches. So per match, Isner is at 18.7 per match, and Karlovic is at 19.8. Okay, so per match average, Karlovic is ahead. Interesting. So, right, let's see. We've got Milos Raonic as a guest. So, Raonic is at number 10. Boris Becker is at number... Can't find him. No, so it doesn't seem like he's high on the list. Unless I missed him. But it seems like Boris Becker is not highly ranked on this list. Right, so let's look at the list quickly. So we said number 5 is Feliciano Lopez. Number 6, we have Andy Roddick. Number 7, we've got Sam Querrey. I think he's still active, right? Then number 8, Pete Sampras. Number 9, Ljubicic, former coach of Roger Federer. Number 10, Milos Raonic. And then we've got Marin Cilic at number 11. Interesting. Very interesting. And it's also interesting to see Novak Djokovic is at number 16, which is not bad at all. We don't really regard him as this server, but I mean, number 16 is good. Let's see, where's Rafa? Oh, the Boris Becker is 41. Sorry. I can't find... Oh, there. Rafa is at number 57. Interesting. As RUUD is able... Oh, RUUD broke. How did I miss that? Sorry about that. Seems like RUUD got a break off serve already in the 3rd set. And it seems like he's steamrolling through this. This will be done soon if it's going on like this. Well done to Casper RUUD. How did that happen? Tell me in the chat. But hey, well done.
On the card, y'all be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
All right, so Simon St. just got here. What list is this? So this is the most aces served on the men's circuit of all time. So I said in the beginning that number 1 is John Isner, and then we had Ivo Karlovic, Roger Federer, number 4, Goran Ivanisevic, and then I wanted everybody to guess number 5, which is quite a surprise, as that is Feliciano Lopez, interestingly enough. Gary saying it's almost inconceivable that anyone could hit 14,000 aces, even if they play till the age of 60. Yeah, that is insane. Eh? 14,000 aces. Nature Explorer saying Safini is also a good ace man. Safini, I'm not familiar. Unless that's a nickname for Marat Safin. Safini. Oh, Marat Safin. So I guess that's his nickname, right? He's at number 24. Schneil saying Zverev may well be done for this match. Yeah, probably. Oh, well, it's love 30. Yes, love 30 on the serve of RUUD. Let's see, if you place money on Zverev now, what will your payout be? Wait. It's 15.30 now. Sports. Let's go for tennis. I just want to check now, what will the odds be if you now bet for Zverev? What will your payout be if you're correct? We've seen crazier stuff in tennis, right? RUUD now with a slice backhand to the forehand of Zverev. He's in control of this rally. Now RUUD is going to go for the passing shot. Oh, is that in? Was the passing shot in by RUUD? I think it was. It looked like it was going to go wide, but then it sort of curled in. And it is in. Well done there by Casper RUUD. Wow. It's sort of like it was with his backhand. It looked like it was going to go out, but it just bounced on the line as 30 all. So Zverev is now on 8, meaning that whatever you put in, it will eightfold be the. So if you put in $100, then you get $800 back if Zverev indeed wins this match. And it's 30 all. Zverev now with the forehand to the forehand of RUUD, who goes cross-court to the forehand of Zverev, who goes down the line to the backhand of RUUD, who chips it in the air. Zverev stepping with the big backhand. Zverev at the net, half volley. Will RUUD get there? Yes, he does. Will he hit that? Yes. RUUD goes for the passing shot. The volley there by Zverev not executed to perfection. And it's 40-30. Gary asking, was I present in the earlier match when JG reported that Novak had won 99 straight slam matches when winning the first set? Yeah, I didn't see JG saying that, but I did see you saying it after it happened. So, yeah, 99 straight slam matches. Yeah, so now it's 100. So the past 100 times that he won the first set, he's won the match. That is insane. I wonder, like, who sees that? Like, how do you spot such a trend? Must be a crazy fan that somehow kept track of it. All right, and it seems like RUUD was able to hold there. He did indeed back the break that he got earlier, and he now leads 2 games to love. Zverev in big trouble over here. And the odds now went 11 for Zverev, meaning that whatever you put in, you'll get back 11-fold if Zverev indeed wins this match. Let's see. Zverev serving. Surely must hold here. He serves the backhand of RUUD. He's standing far behind the baseline. Smash by Zverev to the backhand of RUUD. He goes for a lob. Zverev will have to smash again. Ooh, and he overcooks the smash. That's the thing. There are some strange errors today by Zverev. And I think RUUD knows that. He knows, like, I can go for a lob. You never know what can happen at the net. And it's love 15. Unforced errors in set 3. 5 by ZVEREV and 1 by RUUD. Love 15. He serves the forehand of RUUD. It's a good serve. He's now at the net. Will he smash it away? He puts this one away at least, and it's 15 all. Carrie saying tennis records are so mind-boggling. Yeah, they are these odd records that you like, I wonder how somebody thought of tracking that, you know. Nature Explorer saying, how many surprise winners in tennis Grand Slam finals? I know one, Goran Ivanisevic. Yeah, that's also the only male player I know. In terms of women, there are some surprises. But in terms of the men, no. I guess Cilic to an extent in the US Open to 2014. But I mean, he wasn't like Goran Ivanisevic's next level because he was like, wasn't he like a qualifier? I think he was a qualifier or a lucky loser or a lucky draw. I think he was a wild card. That's the word I'm looking for. He was a wild card player, I think. While Cilic, I guess he was at least seeded, or wasn't he? Let's see. Cilic, US Open 2014. But I mean, he played just out of his mind in that semi-final against Roger. Let's see. So 2014 US Open, Cilic, he was seeded 14. Okay, so it's not like a major random winner, but I mean, it is a surprise. Interesting, 11th seeded there in that he was Gilbis. Do you remember him? Quite an entertainer. So the last 20 points, RUUD has won 14 and ZVEREV only 6. And Gary coming with his wisdom of the history of the sport. Probably the biggest one of all time happened long ago. Arthur Ashe over Jimmy Connors at Wimbledon 1975. Impossible to comprehend at that time. Let's check. What was Arthur Ashe's ranking at that stage? So I'm going to say Wimbledon 1975. Arthur Ashe and Billie Jean. Well done, Gary, on your knowledge. That is insane. So what was his ranking? Arthur Ashe. So it was Ashe's 3rd career Grand Slam title and his 1st Wimbledon title. They don't say what he's ranking. Oh, but he was ranked 6th. So it can't be that surprising, can it? he was seeded 6th, Arthur Ashe. Coldflake saying RUUD just cruising to the finals. Both RUUD and ZVEREV have not put up much of a fight. Yeah, so I guess it also makes it a bit difficult to know what's going to happen in the final, right? Because, I mean, clearly this match isn't the level that the Alcaraz and Djokovic match was, especially at the beginning of that match. So it seems like either of these players would struggle in the final. ZVEREV serving at 40-30. Yeah, and then Nature Explorer pointing out, like on the women's, there are quite a few of them. Raducanu being one of them, most definitely. And I guess also like Ostapenko. What was her ranking when she won in 2000? And what year was that? I can't remember. Andres, do you realize that Iga lost 2 times against Mukova? No, I didn't know that. That is interesting. So what's the head-to-head? Let's see. Swiatek versus Mukova head-to-head. I don't know whether these are updated. Is this the most recent? Why doesn't the WTA have a head-to-head on their page like the ATP? So the head-to-head is not easy to find. Here we go, head-to-head. No, yeah, it seems like there's only one match, and then Mukova won that one. So you're saying 2 times. I guess one of them was then an unofficial match. Because according to this site, they've only played once. And that was... Oh, no, yeah, they showed 2 matches. Okay, so the first one was in 2019 at the J&T Banka Prague Open. And Mukova won that in 3 sets. And then the other one I can't see because there's like the spam thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, the other one is the upcoming match. So, yeah, it's only... according to this, is only that one match. ZVEREV serving at advantage. Carrie saying it's more about Connors losing than Ash winning. No one thought Ash would win the match. Okay, interesting. So what was Connors' sorry. Connors is that the correct English? Connors' ranking in that tournament. I assume he was then seated higher than 6? Oh yeah, I was seated first. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Andre saying one of them was an exhibition match. Okay. So Zverev serving a deuce. RUUD now returning to the backhand of Zverev. Goes for a big backhand deuce. And now Zverev at the back into the forehand of... Oh, that's a beautiful forehand cross-court there by RUUD. And as I've said, I know I'm repeating myself a lot here. But the direction that RUUD is able to play is on his forehand is really remarkable. And I think it's not appreciated enough because it's not powerful. But the angle that he gets there is beautiful. And it places Zverev in a very awkward position. He can't get to those balls. The question is, will it be effective against Novak? Probably not. Hey, but who knows? Now it's break point for Casper RUUD. Zverev in big trouble here. He serves a fault second serve. As I said, we have seen only one double fault this far. Will this be the second one? Let's see. He serves. Yes. Of course. Of course. I should have placed money on that. Of course it will be a double fault. How did we know? I'm sure all of you also were like, yeah, this is going to be a double fault. And it is. And that means it's another break for Casper RUUD. And he leads now 3 games to love in this third and probably final set. And it feels odd to celebrate after a double fault, but he did get some points before that, I guess, on his racket. So let's, go, Casper RUUD.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
All right, looks like it's going to be a comfortable win here at the end for Casper RUUD, but you never know. Hey, there are 111 people in the chat. Lucky Nelson. Oh, there's 109. Come on, where did you go? 111, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, it's a term in cricket called the Lucky Nelson. So to tell you more about this fascinating, what would you call it? So I'm going to just Google cricket Lucky Nelson. Or just a Nelson, it seems like. So a Nelson is a superstition applied to a team or individual scores of 111. So I'm not, this is too long to read. But basically, from what I remember, the crowd needs to put all their feet in the air when the score is on 111, and then usually something happens when the score is on 111. So what's quite an interesting fact here, now maybe you're not familiar with cricket scores, but I think you'll still appreciate this. So on the 11th of November, 2011, right? So it's the 11th of the 11th month, 2011, in a test match between South Africa and Australia, with a time at 11 past 11. With South Africa requiring 111 runs to win. I'm not joking. Okay. The majority of the crowd and umpire, Ian Gold, did Shepherd's leg raise Nelson for that minute, with the scoreboard reading 11-11, 11-11-11. Oh, I love such random facts. Big forehand there by RUUD. 30-15, up 3 love. Sajar saying, for me, this match is over as a Zverev fan. This is painful to me. Yeah, I guess everybody was like debating what's going to be the score, but I don't think a lot of us expected this to be straight sets. Oh, Neil saying, lucky Nelson. I follow cricket, but never heard that. Yeah, I don't know whether I just added the lucky. I know it as a lucky Nelson, but it seems like on the web they just refer it to as a Nelson. Sajar saying, I don't think so. RUUD can match Novak Djokovic level. Novak Djokovic, the beast of the machine, the monster, is playing another level of tennis. So Gary giving some background on Arthur Ashe, the legend that he is. In 1988, Ashe learned that he had AIDS. It was believed he contracted the HIV virus from a tainted blood transfusion following a 1983 heart operation. He died at the age of 49. So RUUD serving to the forehand of Zverev, and now he's in complete control of this rally. Now RUUD with the forehand to the forehand of Zverev, goes to the forehand of RUUD, who goes cross-court. Now Zverev in control of this rally. Big forehand there by Zverev, and that's too big for RUUD to handle, and it's a point to Zverev. And at least one person in the crowd is appreciating that. Andre saying there were two matches between Mukova and Iga. One in 2019 and one in 2020, both ending 2-1 lead to Mukova. Interesting. I still think that it's going to be 6-2, 6-1. But we'll see. RUUD serving at 40-30. Fault, second serve. But I mean, how bad do you feel for Sakari, right? Like the fact that she got Mukova in the first round, that is extremely unlucky. That's like facing Delpo in the first round of Olympics. Sorry, Zverev now with a big forehand now is at the net, and he puts that ball away at the net. And it's deuce. Ho, ho, ho. Are we in for a surprise? Now is the time to put money on Zverev. 14-fold. You will get your money if Zverev wins from you. Nature Exploring saying Goran Ivanisevic's victory is the same as Greece Europe Cup win. Is that was that in 2004? The final against Portugal? Am I now referring to the right one? Let's see. RUUD now serving to Zverev. It's a good serve, and the return goes long, and it's advantage to Casper RUUD. Yes, the 2004 final. I remember it vividly. Well, is that a correct word? Vividly, meaning that I don't remember it well, or does that mean I remember it well? I don't know. I'm not sure. English not my first language, hey. But yeah, I remember it. So I was very young, but I remember watching it. And I remember Cristiano Ronaldo played for Portugal then, and he was crying when they lost. All right, let's see. RUUD now with the backhand to the backhand of Zverev, who goes to the forehand of RUUD, who goes for a big forehand. Zverev not able to handle that ball, and RUUD holds, and that means that he leads 4 games to love, in complete control of this match as he goes for a new record. The one and only Norwegian Casper RUUD.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
And now Zverev serving for the funsies, basically. And it's love 15. Do you think there should be like a rule in tennis where it's like a whitewash where... I would say no, but maybe you feel differently. Like I know in table tennis, but I don't know whether we just make that rule for ourselves. But we basically when we play table tennis for fun, we like you play until 21 points, but then if you are ahead at 11-0, then it stops because then you won with a whitewash. So it'll be interesting to see if they have something like that in tennis. But then where would you place the whitewash? Like, where would you close it early? I wouldn't be in favor because we've seen some insane fight backs in the history of the sport. ZVEREV now the big forehand to the backhand of RUUD. Now ZVEREV stepping into the massive backhand winner cross court by ZVEREV, and it's 15-30. All right, Haman and everyone, I'm signing off, says Gary, with a bit of celebration with my wife. Enjoy that, Gary. Well deserved. We will miss you, so please come back for another stream very soon. Yeah, we'll see. I don't do this often enough. If I don't see you soon, thanks for checking in. Hopefully I'm back soon. But yeah, once again, enjoy the time with your wife, and congratulations from the whole GTL family. And do share that wonderful news again when you're on a stream where other of the regulars are attending as well. And you can see the love from the other members of Game to Love as well. And Shneel also leaving. Yeah, I understand it's probably now like 1 o'clock in India. But thank you for joining, Shneel. Really enjoyed your contributions as well again. ZVEREV now at the net. Volley, put that away. But RUUD now with a lob. ZVEREV with the smash. RUUD now in control with a passing shot. And RUUD gets there. And it's another break, is it not? Was that another break? Yes, it was. RUUD breaks again, and it's 5-love in complete control of this match. And he will be serving for the match as he takes a new racket. Must be nice. You have basically one game left. Oh, new racket. Why not? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we use one racket for like 5 years. No, more. I'm at the currently I'm using my racket on for 6 years. But it's all fair. I assume like my racket is probably still at less tension on the strings than they have after one game. And Andre's saying a bagel coming up. Let's see. Gold flexing, this is a little bit disappointing, I must say. I didn't expect this. In terms of the level, I don't think it's that disappointing. I mean, I think RUUD played very well. I think this is a better level match than we saw ZVEREV versus Echeverry. So in terms of the level, I don't think it was bad. But in terms of scoreline and drama, I guess this is a bit disappointing to see such a whitewash. Gold flexing vividly means you remember well. And vaguely, that's probably the word I was looking for. Yes, I don't remember it vividly, I remember it vaguely. Big difference, it seems like. All right, RUUD, 15-love. He serves the forehand of ZVEREV. It's a bad return. 30-love. And RUUD is edging closer to victory. 2 points away from clinching victory and getting to his second Grand Slam final. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed this last set where RUUD basically just destroyed ZVEREV. Sending a message to Djokovic saying, listen, I'm not just here to compete. I'm here to actually try and win this tournament. Will he have the same mentality against Djokovic, or will he maybe be overwhelmed by the situation? Well, will be his second final. So hopefully that helps that it's not his first. Now ZVEREV with a big forehand down the line winner, though. He takes the point. It's 30-15. If you want to place money on ZVEREV, whatever you put in now, you will get back 19. Now it's suspended. Now you can't bet on this anymore. Huh. So the odds are so low for ZVEREV winning that you may not bet on this match any longer. Interesting. RUUD serving at 30-15. He serves ace. Mid-Asia. I think Andres enjoyed that one. 40-15. Asim saying, oh, it's match point. Sorry, where's the match point button? It's a bit too late, is it not? Let's see. Okay, match point. Here we go.
Match point.
All right, let's see. Second serve. He serves to the backhand of ZVEREV. Now RUUD with a forehand to the backhand of ZVEREV, who goes to the forehand of RUUD, who goes down the line. ZVEREV now the cross-court forehand. Running forehand by RUUD is in the net. And it's a match point saved by ZVEREV. Is this the turning point, I ask you? Probably not. Take a screenshot of this scoreline. Is this one of those ZVEREV won this match? 40-30, match point number 2. He serves to the forehand of ZVEREV. It's a good serve. Stepping in with a big forehand. Winner! It's a winner by Casper RUUD. And he was like, this was so easy. What is this tennis you talk of? And ZVEREV looks very disappointed, walking slowly to the net. And they shake hands. What a comfortable win by Casper RUUD in the end. Handing out the bagel in set number 3. Can you believe it? He wins this match with a score of 6-3, 6-4, and 6-love. And he's through to his second Grand Slam final. Huge congratulations for Casper RUUD. Show him your love by hitting the like button on this video. I'm sure he will appreciate it if he somehow knew that that is the case. But hey, Casper RUUD going through to a Grand Slam final against Alexander ZVEREV, who did well to get there to the semifinals, I would say, given where he's coming back from an injury. But hey, well done to the one and only Casper RUUD.
On the card, y'all be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper RUUD. It's Casper RUUD.
So at the end of the day, it's not a very long match. In total, it was, let's see, 2 hours and 9 minutes. That's basically as long as the first set between Alcaraz and Djokovic, eh? So not probably the type, maybe it's the result that you expected, but I guess none of us have expected that it will go this easily for Casper RUUD. How did he do this? Well, ZVEREV made some crucial errors in some crucial moments at the net. I remember specifically a drop shot that he went into the net, which was a bit shocking. But in terms of RUUD, what he did well, I feel like he changed direction with his forehand very, very well and going for the angles. Not a lot of power, but he makes it awkward in terms of where he places the ball. Now, will this be enough against Novak Djokovic in the final? What is your prediction? Tell me in the chat. Do you think Casper RUUD stands a chance against Novak in the final? We know that the final he had against Nadal, maybe from a neutral perspective, was a bit underwhelming. Do you think it will be something similar? Or do you think he will pull up a better fight because of maybe this being his second time in a slam final? Also, secondly, it not being against Nadal, his idol. And thirdly, it not being against the King of Clay. Do you think he stands a chance of doing something in the final? Do you think, no, this is just going to be a smooth victory for Novak Djokovic? And then also tomorrow, we've got the women's final coming your way by Game to Love. Mukova against Swiatek. Now, I'm thinking, obviously, Swiatek will be the favorite in that one. But you never know. As Andres pointed out in their head-to-head, it is actually 2-love in their head-to-head. Do you call it love in a head-to-head as well? Or is it just 2-0? I'm not sure. But hey, it's 2 wins for Mukova and 0 for Swiatek. So maybe that could also be an interesting match to observe. I see him saying even Carlos with his cramps avoided the bagel. Cold Flake saying, I haven't seen a slam with less drama in the final matches in a really long time. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I guess the Alcaraz and Djokovic was drama in terms of controversy with the injury. But yeah, I mean, this semi-final, I haven't seen as a convincing result as this since probably the Roger and Rafa semi-final in, I think it was 2019. Where it was also so smooth sailing for Rafa. Jamie saying Casper has last year's experience in the bank now, so he should be less nervous. Probably. I think so as well. And also the fact that he's not playing someone that he admires, and even from being from the Rafa Academy, maybe that was also a bit awkward to face Rafa in the final. Henry's bagel served indeed. Bakery is opened. Jamie saying, I agree. The slam was flat with Rafa dropping out, but the matches haven't helped either. So, do you think it will be the same at Wimbledon this year? Will there be a bit more drama? Will it be more or less the same? Oh, you said afterwards. I didn't see your comment there after immediately. I think Wimby will be much better. Let's hope so. Let's hope so from a neutral perspective. I guess the grass is a bit more upset prone naturally, with big serves being able to assist you with those 3 points. Asim saying straight 3 sets for Novak. Unfortunately, RUUD's game just doesn't have the weapons. And I must say, I think I agree with you there. I think trying to make Novak run around, that's not going to do much. I'm thinking it's going to be straight sets for Novak as well. But hey, you never know. So let's tune in and see what can happen over there. I want to thank everybody that joined us here tonight. Hit the like button on this video if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. It was fun joining you once again. Let's say Jamie saying Casper in straight sets. Okay. Well, Jamie, if you want to make money, it seems like this is your opportunity, because I'm assuming the bookies will reward you handsomely for that prediction, unless you are maybe sarcastic. Bravo, Casper, says Cornell Martinez. Indeed, a wonderful performance here by Casper today. Jamie saying Casper is in a groove right now. Well, he seems like he's not really bothered by anyone this far this tournament, right? It's been almost like too easy. It's too quiet, as they would say in a movie, and then there's some kind of explosion. So we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody that joined us here tonight. Make sure that you join in for the finals tomorrow, as well as the finals for the men's final. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the tennis. Little bit of lost clay until we get to the prestigious cross season. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe. See you soon.